The singular most challenging birth chart I have ever seen of a public figure. Can you guess who it is? Today we're going to be talking about the birth chart of Edgar Allan Poe. I will never forget the feeling I had when I first looked at this chart. Edgar Allan Poe's birth time is poor accuracy, but based off of his chart and studying his life story, I do actually think that this is probably the right or close to the correct time of birth. We start here by looking at a Scorpio ascendant, but what's really interesting is everything else that's going on in this first house here. First of all, the ascendant is ruled by Mars in the 12th house, indicating a psychological trauma or pressure, can oftentimes indicate mental illness in severe cases, and that's his chart ruler, but we're just getting started. Edgar had a cazimi of his Sun and Mercury, which were only 12 minutes apart in his chart. This is very rare, and the cazimi period only occurs for about 8 hours each time Mercury conjuncts the Sun, so most people will not have any aspects like this in their chart. What this means is that he was very blessed with his communication, but both are falling at late degrees of Capricorn. Late degree Capricorn placements can be incredibly challenging because they indicate a sense of exhaustion on a deep level, but what's really interesting is what's going on with the moon here. Technically speaking, his moon falls in Pisces, conjuncting both Venus and Jupiter. This would be considered to be a very fortunate placement with Venus exalted in Pisces and the moon in domicile in Pisces. However, we have Pluto right there. Anyone with a Pluto-Moon conjunction is very much aware of their own shadows on a daily basis, but there can be an intense feeling of suffering, especially when we pair that with a Pisces moon. This suffering was made even bigger because of Jupiter's involvement, which is already very strong, basically amplifying the Plutonic emotional state that he was in all the time. Now, Pluto is his other chart ruler, so he could not get away from this intensity. With this particular stellium of planets all in Pisces, the delusion was very strong here. With Venus's involvement, we do see a very strong sense of aesthetics and ability to write in a marvelous way. However, we can see pretty clearly that he likely equated beauty with pain and vice versa. North Node conjunct Scorpio ascendant, going deeper into the scorpionic depths. Mental illness, addiction, and suffering were conditions that grew over time instead of diminishing. Edgar Allan Poe had an unbelievably challenging birth chart.